South Africa did not free itself, it was carried by the hands, the money, and the blood of a continent that asked nothing in return. 40 years later, these same hands are being met with fire. What is going on in South Africa? While South Africa was under the boot of apartheid, the rest of Africa didn't look away. They opened their borders, emptied their treasuries, and even buried their people for South Africa. Zambia and Tanzania hosted the ANC and the PAC headquarters for over 30 good years. They gave lands, schools, and shelters to South African exiles while apartheid's military bombed their soil in retaliation. Ghana under Kwame Nkrumah handed the diplomatic passport to South African freedom fighters, giving them a country when they had none, so they could take apartheid's crime to the world stage. Nigeria, with no shared border, no strategic obligation, imposed a Mandela tax on its own civil servants and sent millions directly into the liberation movement. Ordinarily, Nigerians pay from their salary for South Africa's freedom. Algeria and Ethiopia gave Nelson Mandela and the founders of the Umkhonto Wesizwe their very first military training in the 1960s. When the ANC had no plan, no army, and no weapons, Africa stepped up. Botswana, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, the frontline states, were invaded, their infrastructures were destroyed, their people were killed, not for anything they did, but simply because they refused to stop standing with the black South Africans. This is the foundation South Africa is built on. And now, these same people are being chased through the township, with the impression that they are helping them to go back and fix their countries. But none of these countries told them to fix their countries when they were seeking asylums in the time of apartheid. How ironic. The xenophobia that only sees black. Why aren't we seeing these attacks in cities like the Cape Town? Why? Why KwaZulu-Natal and the rest? Why not Cape Town? Because study shows that there are many white immigrants in South Africa. Why are they not getting the same treatment as their black counterparts? I'm not encouraging anyone to attack anyone because this channel doesn't support violence in any shape or form. But I'm just showing the disparity between the two, how the blacks are treated and how the whites are treated. Operation Dudula and movement like it markets themselves as anti-immigration. The facts make that argument collapse on itself. Violent raids, mob arrests, and township attack targets one group exclusively: poor black migrants from Zimbabwe, Malawi, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Ghana. Meanwhile, in Cape Town City Bowl and Johannesburg northern suburbs, thousands of undocumented or semi-documented Europeans and North Americans live quietly and comfortably. They buy property, they start businesses, they are called expats. No raids, no mobs, no outrage. This is not about paperwork. This is about which body is seen as threat and which body are seen as welcome. That distinction has a very old and a very familiar name in South Africa, and it is not immigration enforcement. The sharpest irony of all, the borders being defended were drawn by the same colonial powers the rest of Africa sacrificed to help South Africa escape. The war, the invisible war being built today, are built from the same blueprint apartheid used. When South Africa turns on the continent today, it is not just disowning a historical debt, it is dismantling the only alliance that ever truly had its back and replacing Pan-African solidarity with the same segregationalist logic its liberators died to destroy. You cannot burn down the village that built your house and call it a progress. This is Politically Me, and we are all for Africa. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you up in the next episode. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.